Here we are. We're going to play the Fall of Haven. We've got everything set up, just like it says in the rulebook. I'm going to play with the Royal Guard of Legend. I've got my 2 starting armory cards. I've got my starting skill card. I've got 3 health tokens. I've got my campfire token. I've got my XP and gold, and I've got my damage tokens ready to go. I've got the campfire pawn on the time track. I've got my hero figure at Haven Castle. I've got my threat deck shuffled, the bounty cards on the bounty board. I've got all of my threats, except I've got some defense tokens. We'll set those over here. The only thing I don't have yet is the hidden token set up, and I wanted to run through that with you. So to put down the hidden tokens, you take your D10 and your D8. Your D10 is your 10's place. Your D8 is the 1's place. Roll them. We have a 48. You take 1 hidden token, randomly shuffled, face down, and you place it on 48. Easy enough. You do that for all 10 tokens. This one is 58, 28, 61, 15, 85, 36, 65, 38. Let's see, 38. One more. 12. Alright, set up and ready to go. I'm going to play a solo game here, so I'm not going to read any of the story moments. I will skip past that and just continue on to the objectives. So after everything is set up, we'll go to page 5 of the rulebook and read the opening paragraph. Okay, story, I see what's going on. I am told to go to Haven Manor. I do that, I'm supposed to prepare the Haven Manor card, and I'll do that by placing it up here at the top. So once I prepare the card, I can take my turn. And every hero has a movement of 6 spaces on the kingdom board. So I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. After I take those movements, I could go to the bounty board and choose a bounty. That will give me the option to do some side quests, and they will give me different types of rewards. For instance, Smuggler's Hideout, Search for Wisdom, and maybe that would be a good one. The reward for that is that I don't have to spend any blue, which is Wisdom, to use an effect of a skill or armory card. Very powerful. Protect the Prophets, Hunting Minions, Bounty Hunter, Death Spawning, Trouble on the Farm, Defend the Village. This may be a good one for me to do, so I'm going to go ahead and put that there. And I'm going to try to fulfill that objective. So I need to collect 5 Wisdom and deliver to Canaan Village before reaching skills 4 on the time track. Pretty aggressive in the time we have. Once the heroes have made their moves and have visited the bounty board, it's time for the night phase. The night phase begins by the campfire pawn, moving 1 space on the time track, and then the threat card is drawn. It's a corruptor. I'm going to line the threats along here. So each night phase, a new threat is drawn, and they move toward a specific location. So the game starts out fairly easy and slow, but it will snowball, and you've got all these different things that you need to figure out how to do in a certain amount of time. So the corruptor is placed. You place threats the same way you place the hidden tokens. 16. So find the corruptor token and place him on space 16. Now threats also have a location that they move towards, and once you place the threat, it automatically makes that move toward that location. At the bottom here, it's the corruptor moves 3 toward Ravenswood. Ravenswood is over this way, so the threat will move 3 towards Ravenswood. Once that is complete, the night phase ends, and the heroes take their turn again. So I'm going to move another 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I get to check to see if I want these. I definitely want this. This is Bloodroot. Bloodroot counts as an item that I hold in my pack space. I can hold 6 items and 9 gems. Bloodroot allows me to heal 2 health. 2 health would equal 1 full token. And I'm definitely going to take this because that is one of my bounties. I need to collect 5 wisdom. Gems do not count toward your pack space. I can only hold 9, however. Alright, so I've moved my 6. Nothing else I can do unless I want to go to the bounty board, but I need to make sure I can do this one first. Again, the night phase begins. Move the campfire pawn. In this instance, since there are threats on the board, they go ahead and move during the night phase again. So any threats on the board before you draw a new threat, will move toward its location. So the corruptor will move 3 spaces toward Ravenswood. This location counts as a space, so it will move 1, 2, 3. You notice these paths here. These are the only ways in and out of this location. Each location has a small path space connected to it. Now, this threat also moved over this token. He will collect that token and put it on his card here. The only way to get this token back is to defeat this threat. So he has taken a blood root from me, from the path. So now he's moved, and we draw a new threat. Now we have an imp. So let's place the imp again by rolling. He is on space 8. So this threat happens to have a number in his picture, his image area, and this is number 2, so you need to make sure you find the imp token with the corresponding number next to it. So we found that, and I'm going to place him on space 8. Again, he will move as soon as he's placed, and he moves 3 toward the Valley of Vision. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Threats will move toward the location in the shortest space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that's closest, so he will move 1, 2, 3 this way. Okay, that's our new threat. Again, time for the day phase. The new day phase begins. So since I have this bounty, I'm not going to go to Haven Manor right away. I'm going to try to collect some more tokens here. 1, 2, 3. Ah, blood root. Yes. I will take that. Even though it takes up pack space, I may need that. 4, 5, 6. Alright, I'll end there. No more bounties. Threats on the board move. 1, 2, 3. 1. Okay. Threats here. Threats that move into this treacherous terrain have to stop immediately. Yes, here in the rulebook, threats must end their move in treacherous terrain spaces, but will continue movement in the next night phase. So he stops there. This guy's already moved, so now we draw our new threat. Toggleoth. This Toggleoth has a number 2 next to its name. That means there are 2 tokens that correspond to this card. So I need to find 2 Toggleoth tokens. There's 1, and there's 2. So we will place these 2 in the same fashion. This one will go to 17, and the second one will go to space 98. 98. Okay, they're pretty close to each other. And the Toggleoths move 3 spaces to Forbidden Garden. They're really close. So 1, 2, 3. He takes this one. He grabs this green gem. This one moves 3. 1, 2, 3. And now you can see the board is filling with threats. I've got things to do, and so things really start to pick up quickly. And now we're ready for the next day phase. You know what I didn't do? I don't think I moved this forward, so let's do that. Okay, new day phase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And wow, another blood root. I will take that. If I pick up more and I end up wanting to drop some, if I run across these, I can definitely drop these on the path and pick up a different token. So that's absolutely something that you can do. Alright, next night phase. So here, something new happens. When the campfire pawn reaches a skill level upgrade space on the time track, my hero can immediately draw a new skill from my deck. And it has to equal the skill level on the time track. So this is a skill level 2, which also means I can hold 2 skills. So I need to find a skill level 2, which is in the upper right hand corner of the skill cards. So if I can find 2 skills, level 2 skills, I can only choose 1 though. So Intimidate or Sacrifice. Intimidate allows me to spend 1 wisdom before my attack to remove defense from the target, and I have a limit of 3. Or Sacrifice, which is a defense skill, allows me to block 2 hits. And the option to that is spend 1 strength after taking damage to inflict damage to the attacker. I think I'm going to take Intimidate, because Intimidate is a fighting skill. It allows me to deal 2 damage to any threat. So I'm going to place that there. This card goes back to my deck. So these 2 cards are now played in my hand. And once we get to a threat, I'll show you how those are taken care of. So let's continue the night phase. Current threats continue to move. Let's see, the Corruptor moves 3, 1, 2, 3. The Imp moves 3. The Valley of Vision, 1, 2, 3. And he takes Strength, or Power, actually. And then the Toggleoths move 3 to Forbidden Garden. So 1, 2, 3. He has to stop. 1, 2, 3. And now the new threat is drawn. They're really piling up here. Alright, we have another Imp. This is Imp number 3. And you can see here on the threat cards, when they have their health, they have their attack number, and then they have their reward here underneath their health. When you defeat one of these threats, you get the rewards that are on the card. So these are a good way to build up things that you need. So let's place this imp, 84. Let's find the imp token number 3 and place him. Oh, that's 50, 54. So 54, which is actually good since he moves toward the Valley of Vision. 1, 2, 3. He's farther away, so maybe I could go fight him and try to gain another skill, but he's pretty strong, so I think I'll wait. Alright, let's get to our destination, Haven Manor. So now begins the new day phase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As soon as I get to my location, I can read the available location card. So let's read this card. I'm not going to read it to you, but I will tell you that I now need to search the manor and find the scroll. Okay, I need to place the Haven Manor location board into the play area. Alright, so I'm going to find that location board. I will place it here where we can see for now what's going on. And I will immediately place my hero figure on the number 1 space. Anytime that you move to a location, the heroes will begin on the number 1 space. This location board gives you a few more pieces of information. So I need to read the setup for Haven Manor on the story card. Heroes can move 3 spaces at this location. A hero's turn ends after revealing an Haven Manor token. Okay, so I have to get out Haven Manor tokens. I'm supposed to blindly shuffle them. Alright, I'm going to look away while I'm shuffling this so I don't happen to pick the one I know I need. Alright, put that one there, and that one there. So as soon as I have this set up, my turn ends, and the next night phase begins. Now in some locations, there is a Dark Guardian icon. Let me find one. Let's see, such as Memory Lake. There's a Dark Guardian icon, which means that when I enter this location, time stands still, but we will get to that rule once we enter one of these. But for now, in Haven Manor, since it does not have a Dark Guardian icon, the time track continues to march ahead. So now my turn is over, and now the night phase begins. Campfire Pond moves forward. The threats continue to move toward their location. Move this a little bit. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1. He has to stop there because it's treacherous terrain. When a threat enters their location, they stay there until you have to enter that location. That just gives you more things you have to fight. Alright. And our third imp. 1, 2, 3. Toward Valley of Vision. And now we draw our next threat. Death Spores. Death Spores. Death Spores do not move. They are static threats that stay on the path. This one has a 3 next to it, so let's place him space 54. So he will stay there, he doesn't move. And these things are very tough to defeat. So, the other bad thing about Death Spores is that if 3 Death Spores are placed on the paths, each hero becomes despondent. Despondent basically means that you have 1 more life, and if you are defeated with a despondent token, you are eliminated from the game. Okay, that night phase is over, and now we will go back to Haven Manor and find out what I can find. So the Haven Manor card tells me I need to find the scroll. So let's see what I can find. I can move 3, so let's go 1, 2, see what's here. There it is. That's awesome. Okay. Scroll. I found the scroll, and it tells me that I need to find the Haven Manor scroll card, and here it is. So I'll take that, I'll read it. Again, I'm not going to spoil the story, but it does tell me to discard all Haven Manor location cards. Heroes cannot reveal any remaining tokens at this location. Place the Haven Manor scroll token on the Haven Manor space on the kingdom board. This is my first victory, I need to protect it. And then it tells me to prepare the following location cards. The Valley of Vision. Go to the Valley of Vision, and more story. I'm going to keep that story from you, because I think you will enjoy it. Alright, first I need to get rid of all the Haven Manor location cards. I'll put those back into the box, and then I will prepare the Valley of Vision card. We'll put it up here. So that is the end of my turn. Once I've completed a location, I'll go back to that, remove the location board, and continue play. Okay, so that was my turn. That was the end of the day phase. It is now the night phase. Campfire Pond moves forward, and the threats move. So the Corruptor, he moves 3, toward Ravenswood. The imp, number 2, moves toward Valley of Vision. 1, 2, 3. He's made it there. And that's exactly where I'm going, so he's going to be waiting for me. The Toggaloths, they move 3 to Forbidden Garden. One's there, 1, 2, 3. Now I've got 2 there to deal with. And now imp number 3 moves to Valley of Vision. 1, 2, 3. He moves right by me. And then the Death Spores, they do not move. They stay there. Alright, now it's time to draw another threat. Oh, another Death Spore. Okay, I've got to start getting rid of these, because if another one comes out, I become despondent. And I've got a lot of threats here on the board I need to take care of, but I don't think I'm going to be getting to them. Alright, let's find this Death Spore number 1. There's his token, and we're going to place him on space 32. Let's see, he's over here, okay. 32. At the end of the night phase, I can now begin my journey to Valley of Vision. So I can move 6. So let's just move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's just move toward my location. Now the other thing about this space is you move to any space that's right next to the circular spaces, so it should be fairly easy to understand. Let me try to find one where you couldn't move from. So you wouldn't want to do this, and you can't do that. You have to go to the closest space available. Now I just lost where I was at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's as far as I can move. I don't have any skills that allow me to move an extra space. Sometimes you can do that. Let's do the night phase. Great. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And now we draw a new threat. We've got the Liar. The Liar. Let's get his token ready and roll. He will go on space 26. And the Liar will move 2 spaces toward Old Grotto. Let's see, I think this is probably 1, 2. And he takes this token, and he will put that on his card. He's picked it up. Alright. Now it's time for the new day phase. I get to move 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here. We are now here. And what happens here, before I can read the Valley of Vision card, I have to fight this threat to remove him before I can go into that location. So let's move over here, and we'll show you how this works. So I'm fighting the imp number 2. Here's his card here. I'm going to bring this over so we can see it a little bit easier. Now that's going to be cut off. I'll just leave it over here. I'll put him up here, and we'll just do a split screen. So the imp and I are fighting. The first thing you do is check initiative. The imp has 32. I have initiative of 40, so he gets to go first. So he has a hit of 5. Now this ranged icon means he could hit me far away, but since it was my turn, I'm going to move into him, and that really doesn't make a difference at this point. But he does get to attack first, and he inflicts 5 damage on me automatically. Now let's come over here to my skill cards and armory cards. So he's attacking me first. I want to try to block his attack. What I could do is use my shield, which will block 2. And this option here allows me to spend 1 to add defense. So I have 1, but I want to save that for my bounty. So I'm going to go ahead and use my shield, and I'm going to block 2. But he's hit me with 5. And I really can't do anything with that, so I'm going to have to take the damage. There's no way to negate that. So I take a damage, and I flip my health token over to half a heart. And so now it's my turn. And what I do now is I use my armory card, my sword. I can inflict 2, and let's see what else I can do. If I can use any of my skills. Oh, actually, my Devout skill would have blocked 4, but that still wouldn't have allowed me to block 5. This card will always stay in your hand, but we'll go ahead and use it up. And I'm hitting with 2. I could spin that to remove defense. He doesn't have any defense. If a threat has defense, it will be listed here on his card on the right side of his heart. So I'm ultimately, I can't use, well yes, I can use Intimidate, but I'm not going to use its option. So I use my sword, it adds 2, and I'm going to use my Intimidate skill, which the sword says it's a melee attack. So I jump down here to see what I can use. It's 2. So I'm going to add 2 from my sword and my Intimidate to make that 4 hits. Now, this middle part is the option. This option allows me to spend 1 wisdom before my attack to remove defense, but he doesn't have defense, so I don't want to use that. If I did use that, this would allow me to take 1 defense off. And if I had 3 wisdom, I could spend all 3 wisdom to take 3 defense off of him. So I'm going to use it anyway, without the option, to add 4 hits to this imp. And he has 4 health, and I have defeated him. I gain a gold and a green. Green is blessing. So I'll take a gold and a green, add them. A gem is a gem. Now gold counts as a pack item. So I'm now carrying 5 items because my campfire token counts. It takes up pack space. So this guy is gone. I'm going to put those over there. And I've got my green and my gold. And that was the end of the fight. Anytime that you have used both armory cards, you can refresh them immediately. Anytime that you have spent all of your skill cards, you can replenish those. You can replenish those once they are all exhausted, which I can do that now since I've used both of them. Now if I hadn't, I would have to wait to the beginning of the next day phase. But as we do this playthrough, you will see how that works. Okay, so I have defeated that threat at the Valley of Vision. I can now immediately go to that card and read it. In more story moment, I am going to again keep the spoilers away. Okay, and now I get to place 6 scroll and skull tokens on the Valley of Vision space. So, take your scroll and skull tokens, stack them up here on this space. These are the tokens that you need to carry to various locations throughout the kingdom. This is what's going to help you win the game. Okay, I also get to heal 2 health. So I'm going to go ahead and heal that. I don't have enough damage. Okay. But there's a caveat here. Okay, once an imp enters that location after I have been to this location, that benefit is no longer available. It now tells me to prepare the following location cards. Golden Mesa, Canaan Village, there's Canaan Village, and the Watchtower. Golden Mesa and the Watchtower. So now I've got 3 more locations I can explore. And my next objective is to find the Dark Guardian stronghold locations. Now you can visit any of these locations in any order. You don't have to visit them one after the other, or you don't have to visit them in any specific order. So I'm going to put this here at Valley of Vision just to remind myself of this benefit. But that benefit goes away when this guy gets there. So I don't know if I want to deal with it. I've got plenty of bloodroot here. So I think I'll just continue on. Alright, so I've taken my turn. That was the day phase. And now the night phase begins. So Campfire Pawn moves ahead. Our threats move. Let's see, this one Ravenswood, 1, 2, 3. Let's move these guys down here. The Toggloths are already there. The Imp moves 3 to Valley Vision. 1, 2, 3. Maybe I will take him out. He's close enough. But I also would really like to do that, so I can take this Death Spore out. The Death Spores don't move. Yeah, I could go down there and do that. The Liar moves 2 to Old Grotto. He moves 2 this way. And now the new threat comes out on the board. Oh, and it's a Blighter. The Blighter with the number 3 next to him, so let's find that number 3 token. Now we place him. He goes to 51, and he will immediately move toward his space, which is move 2 to the closest location, either Canaan Village or Ravenswood. So he's obviously closer to Ravenswood, so let's move him to 1, 2. Okay, the new day phase begins, and what I need to do now is find the Dark Guardian locations. And what I want to be able to do is to take the scrolls and place them at these locations. So I'm going to have to carry these scrolls, and I only have 1 space left. So what I'm going to do is get rid of one of these Bloodroot tokens and put 2 scrolls on there, just to be ready if I can go to 2 in my journey here. So I'm going to take 2 scrolls and then begin my next move. So I need to go to Canaan Village, Golden Mesa, or the Watchtower. Let's go to Canaan Village because, well, I want that wisdom. I want to collect that wisdom bounty. Alright, so let's begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I have to stop there because I have no more movement. Nope. Sometimes skill cards will give you more movement, but I don't have that. So now we go to the night phase. The night phase begins, the Campfire Pawn moving forward, threats on the track, moving to their location. Ravenswood is going to be a dangerous place to go. toggle off, they are already there. Imp number 3 moves to value vision, 1, 2, 3. And when this happens, he takes that Bloodroot token, and these are now skulls, which I will have to go back to capture, so I'm going to have to fight him. This just indicates that you have a challenge ahead, and the scrolls can no longer be taken until you defeat that threat. Death Spores don't move, the Liar moves 2 more spaces. He is right on top of the Death Spore. And if I had a ranged weapon, I would have to fight him first to get to the Death Spore. And then the Blighter moves 2, and he's in the same situation. He's on top of the Death Spore. And again, I have to draw a new threat. And we have another Imp. Let's see if I can scoot these down a bit. Imp number 1. Alright, we've got his token, and let's roll for his place. Space 58. So 58, and then he moves 3 to value vision. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Into the night phase. New day phase begins. Do I want to jump in and start attacking both of those threats? I mean, I do have plenty of Bloodroot, so let's do that. Let's use those up. So I'm going to move 1, and then attack. Let's take these guys out, but first, the Liar. Let's put these guys up here so we can see. The Liar and Death Spore number 1. So the Liar is 45, my initiative is 40, I get to go first. This is what I want to do. I want to use my sword. There's 2. And then my Intimidate. So there's 4 hits on the Liar. Oh, and he is 4 health, so I automatically defeated him, which is great. So I can take that, and the rewards is gold and wisdom. I'm going to discard him. I'm going to take my gold and wisdom. I don't have any more room for the gold, so I'm just going to, let's see, in the rules I can't lay down the reward for a defeated threat. I either have to take it or it is gone, so I am going to just not take the gold. I could get rid of one of these, but I'm not going to do that. Alright, so my turn is ended. The Liar is defeated. And now the Death Spore. He hits me with 4. I've got my shield remaining, and I don't want to spend that wisdom yet. So there's I block 2, and then my Devout blocks 2, so I block it. And since these are all exhausted, I can immediately refresh and replenish. But before I begin the next round, I have to go to the night phase. And in the night phase, of course, Campfire moves forward, and we are on upgrade skills to 3, which means I immediately get to take a skills level 3 into my hand, and I've got 2 here to choose from. But I can also, if I want, take that skills level 2. So I can take a previous level with the next level up. It also means I can hold 3 skills in my hand to use. Sacrifice is another defense. Confuse. And Harvest. Oh, this is a good one, and I may just need this to complete my... I think I'm going to take Harvest. So I'm going to put these back. I'm going to purchase Harvest, and this is how Harvest uses. This means I can either use one or the other. I can use this to move 2 spaces when I use the skill, or I can use it to gain 2 gems of choice after defeating a threat or Dark Guardian. Can't do both. I have to do one or the other. That's what this question mark option icon means. So I immediately prepare that. So now I have 3 in my hand because we are at level 3. And again, we were in the night phase. We move the threats on the board. Corruptor is already there. Toggle outs are there. Imp number 3 is there. The Blighter moves 2. He is now at his location. And this Imp moves 3 to Valley Vision. And of course, new threat is drawn. We have Giant Rats. Giant Rats. There are 3 Giant Rats, so there are 3 tokens associated with this one card. Let's get the rats out. And we will roll for their placement. Space number 3. And they move 2 to the Ancient Tomb, so he's going to move 1, 2. The next rat placement, 43. He moves, let's see, 2 to the ancient tombs. Let's find out which is closest. 1, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Alright, so he's going to move 2 that way. And then the last giant rat token moves to 16. And he will go to ancient tombs. Let's move him. Yeah, it's probably this way. Move 2 up that way. Okay, that's the end. Actually, not the end of the night phase. He does not have high initiative, so I can attack him during the night. And you notice his health is at 11, so these guys are tough. So I will take my sword and intimidate. That gives me 4 hits against him. So the 4 hits, 3 of those will cover his defenses. And then we'll give him 1 damage. This is going to take a while. He gets to go now. He hits me with 4. I'm going to block all of those. But now all the threats have taken their turns. I've blocked that. Now it's the new day phase. So now I can replenish these, refresh my armory cards, and the new day phase begins with me fighting this death spore. So let's do this again. Attack with the sword and intimidate. Don't really want to do that until I defeat him. And I'm not going to be defeating him now, but that gives me 4 hits against him. I'm going to just add a 5 and take off the 1. It's now his turn. He attacks with 4. Of course, I block that. And that completes the day phase. So basically, I've spent the day fighting him. And it's now time for the night phase. Campfire pawn moves forward. These guys make their moves. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. And a new threat is drawn. A wolf. Oh boy. The wolf has 3 tokens associated with his card. And you can see what I mean by snowballing effect. I'm halfway through the game, according to the time track, and I've barely reached my second location. Okay, let's roll and place these wolves. 83. Okay, well, I'm sorry to say that my footage was truncated and I didn't get the entire game, but needless to say, I lost. The Royal Guard was defeated at Ravenswood, and it's probably because of a few things. I probably got too focused on getting that bounty. I spent a little too much time trying to grab those blue wisdom gems, and I just spent too many days, and I should have really focused on upgrading my armory. The skills, I had plenty of skills by the end, which comes just over the course of time, but the armory upgrades really help, and I just ran out of time, and then I became despondent. I actually had to leave Ravenswood and then come back in after regaining my health, and that thing just took me out. But I'm going to do another play with one of the other heroes. I could do a solo play, or I could do multiple player. Let me know what you think. Put it in the comments what you want to see. I'm thinking of doing the Prophet solo play. He is a pretty powerful character. The Ranger, I could do the Ranger. He has no defense, but he can really create a lot of damage points as he upgrades. I could do the Blacksmith. He's fairly average, but he can use his campfire token to do some pretty serious damage towards the end. Thanks for watching the playthrough of The Fall of Haven.